Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Universal Rackets, and today we're talking about the proper racket position during our serve. Too many players, they don't start the proper way, they don't end the proper way, they don't put their racket in the certain proper position, and that's the reason why they can't hit a big serve. If you need to think about where you serve, where to hit, this video is for you. So let's get started. So number one, you need to make sure that you start yourself in the proper position. If you don't start, you're not going to finish properly. So what do you have to do? You need to make sure that your racket is out in front, pointing forward, and your racket's just down around your hips. Too many players, they start up too high. Their swing's not going to be synchronized. They start down too low. Same exact thing. I need to make sure that my racket position at the start is facing forward around my hips. Now, after I have the racket facing forward around my hips, right, pointing forward towards the opposite net post, now what am I going to do? I'm going to bring the racket back. Now this is my second position. I want you to notice my racket position, the tip's facing forward, it's around my hips. Now when I bring this racket back, now it's like kind of I'm sweeping the ground. When I bring my racket back in the second position, I want you to notice something. The racket tip is facing downward. So ready, position, second position, ready, position, sweeping position. Ready position, sweeping position. Notice my strings are pointing downward. Why do you want your strings pointing downward? Because how do we get into this thing called the trophy post? Have you ever saw an old school tennis trophy? They're all like this. When you bring the racket tip down on your second position, then when you go over your head, you're going to be able to get into your trophy pose, which is the third position. Now, since I'm in my trophy pose, now what can I do? I can throw my racket forward. This is the fourth position. Notice my racket tip is once again facing downward. My butt cap is pointing upwards. So then I can get into the fifth position, which is my contact. Notice my contact's out in front. My racket tip's pointing up, and then my follow through, which my racket tip is pointing back. Now that was a lot of stuff in a little bit of time. Let's go over it again. Ready position, racket out front, tip facing forward around my hips. Now second position, sweeping position. I'm pointing my racket tip down. Notice I start here, I do like a snow angel, and I have my racket tip pointing down. Now the third position again is I'm going to bring the racket over my head. Like 2 Minute Tennis says, you're going to knock the birthday party hat over. You're going to comb your hair. So here's the third position, I'm combing my hair. Now the fourth position is I'm dropping my racket tip's down, my butt cap is pointing up. Now my fifth position, the racket tip is up, I'm making contact with the ball, the butt cap is pointing down, and the follow through, the last one, is the sixth position where the racket tip is pointing back and the butt cap is pointing forward. I want you to notice, if you can get your racket in all these positions, it's the exact same thing as throwing a ball. Once again, if I can get my racket into those proper positions, I'll be able to do the exact same thing as throwing a ball. And all a serve is a throwing motion. If you can think 1, 2 is the sweep, 3 is the over the head, birthday hat, brush the hair, 4 is the racket tip down, 5 is the racket tip up and follow through, it's going to be so much easier for you to hit a serve, and it's not going to hurt your elbow or your arm because you're going to be doing your body's natural throwing motion. Now, it is very difficult to think all these steps of the serve. There's too many steps to the serve. So what do? You break it down. Maybe you'll start in position number 3. So then you can go 4 and 5 and 6, right? Or position number 4, sorry. 5, 6. You can do that. So maybe you'll start off here and then you'll go 1, 2, tip up, tip down, 3. Maybe you'll start in the sweep, okay? So you can go over your head, then you can go down, then you can go up, follow through. Now once you get that, what are you going to do? You're going to start out front and you're going to put it all together. So by breaking it down and going step by step, you're going to be so much more efficient. It's going to give you each tip or each position so you can put it all together and hit a good serve. So once again, make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, pay attention to tips of your racket, and you're going to be good to go and hit a much more consistent serve. Now, if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 100,000 subscribers. Make sure to click the link in my description for Instantly Improve My Serve ebook, and I'll see you guys on court next time.